Okay, so this is a follow-up video on the President McKinley. So I've had a little bit more time to play with it. I don't think the channel rejection, like I said, I was a little, I don't know about adjacent channel rejection. I actually there was some really strong skip coming in this morning, and yeah, it's good. So that was my only concern with receiver. The sensitivity was out of the box was great. I was just kind of concerned about overpowering stations, you know, with adjacent channel splatter, and it seems fine. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're listening to one of these guys down on the Super Bowl that's using a 10 kilowatt amplifier and he's splattering 6 channels in either direction, there ain't no radio going to block that because he's actually transmitting 6 channels over, you know, in either direction. But as far as your normal adjacent channel rejection, yeah, it's just fine. Now, something I got to thinking about, and was, you know, kind of had the question floating around in my head, was the microphone. So you'll notice there's no microphone plugged in. Actually, that's hanging here unplugged. So this has channel up-down buttons, but it's 6-pin. And, well, you know, President and Uniden kind of, I don't know what their partnership is with each other. I don't know how that works. Because actually, if you go to, like, President France, or I think it was President, could have been Australia. I was looking at Uniden's website in Australia. They sell, not this one, but an AM radio in Australia that looks exactly like this. So, yeah, there is still kind of a partnership. But it got me to thinking, 6-pin microphone, Uniden and President. Is there a possibility that this would work? Yes, the Uniden wireless microphone. That's one of the main things I liked about the damn Uniden 980 SSB was this microphone. You know, the UPS man, the FedEx man pulls in the driveway. I can walk out there. I can walk the whole way to the end of my damn driveway, 100 yards away, get the mail, and still talk on the damn radio and listen to it. So, you know, just a quick glance at the schematic, looked at the schematic for, you know, this microphone. Pin 2 looked a little suspicious because it's actually grounded in this factory microphone for that radio. Pin 2's grounded on receive. But this doesn't use receive switching, because with the microphone unplugged, you still hear sound out of the radio. So, audio, what's the possibilities? Well, it works. So grab the wireless cradle here, and we get the connector in the right damn direction, might help. And the first thing we'll see is the little lights blinking. And then I'll turn the microphone on. And it just synced. Okay, and we can hear. Of course, there's absolutely no skip right now. So what I can do is just switch over to a dummy load for that. I'll grab my trusty that sits on the floor all day. Another little thing I use for just testing, just a little walkie-talkie here. And I'll talk into the microphone and you can hear it. It's coming out of this microphone here. So that's me transmitting on another radio coming out of this one. And then vice versa. If I turn the volume up on this radio, if I talk into the wireless microphone, you can hear it coming out of the walkie-talkie. So, yeah. So if you have a 980 SSB and you're replacing it with one of these, and you have one of these, it will work. Yeah. Because President, and I need to contact President and find out. President USA does not have a wireless microphone listed on their website. But President overseas, if you go to the other countries, I think they call it the Liberty is the microphone. I think they call it the President Liberty is the wireless microphone that President makes and sells overseas. President, again, if you're watching this video, yeah, we don't want to be using a damn Uniden Bearcat mic with our President. Start importing that damn microphone. So yeah, but yeah, so if you've got one of these though, yeah, apparently works just fine. So there you go. If you've got a 980 and you're replacing it with President McKinley, let's say, and you already invested in one of these wireless microphones, and that might be a hang-up for you. You'd like to have one of these, but the reason you like your 980 is because you can use this. Well, that answers it. It works just fine. So actually two things. Again, I need to contact President. A couple people have asked about the size of this thing. It's a DIN-sized radio. A mounting bracket, a DIN bracket for in-dash mounting. Again, I didn't know. So I went to the President Electronics USA website. No, they do not have any DIN brackets. But if you go to the foreign President, so like if you go to President France, you look on their website, and the other countries, yes, they do make in-dash DIN mounting brackets for what looks like all of the other radios overseas. So again, President, be nice if you start selling the DIN mounting brackets for people that want to do in-dash mounting. And the last thing is, I meant to mention it in that previous video and just completely forgot about it. It was, in one brain cell and it out the other. I forgot by the time I got to the end of that video. And some people have asked, is channel expansion possible in this radio? Extra channels? Short answer, absolutely not. Dual, it's got a master and slave MCUs. This, you have to remember, this is a FCC certified radio. The FCC is not going to give President an certification and an ID number on a radio where all you got to do is pop the top cover and go snip to get extra channels. So yes, this is not like the President Lincoln 2 Plus or other radios from other manufacturers where it's a simple bodge and you open it up for lots of extra channels. It's not going to happen. But we don't give up hope yet. Mark has one of these. Mark is probing it. He doesn't know because the master MCU in this thing, it's a custom masked chip, and it has a shitload of pins that control this display. That chip directly drives this display, and it has a lot of connections. The problem is, that's pretty much the only chip on the planet that directly can drive that display and have so many segments. That's the problem, is there are so many segments in it, because remember, you've got this frequency counter here. And those aren't just normal 7-segment displays. Those are alphanumeric displays there. So there's a lot of segments there. You've got all the RF gain, the mic gain, RF power. There's just lots of segments. He needs to see what the protocol is for starters. The communications protocol between the master and the slave MCUs. And then what he might end up having to do is, it's like I say, we'll need to see it. This is going to be on him. He can probably, instead of being using a one chip, he might have to use 2 chips to be able to get enough pins to control this display. But yeah, don't give up hope yet on this for channels. If that's a big holdback, Mark might come out with a replacement board, just like he's doing for the 980 SSB. Where it replaces the entire display board. It would probably be pretty much the same thing in this. It's going to replace that entire front microprocessor display board in there. But there's no guarantees. He could definitely hit a roadblock that just completely nixes or kills that idea. But he won't know until, he's tinkering with it now. So time will tell. It may be possible. So there's just a few updates, a few things I found the adjacent channel rejection. Yeah, I've played around, had a little time with it with some strong signals on several channels. That seems fine. The mic works. That's fantastic, man. I don't have to buy any more of these things. I've got a couple of them, but because this radio is replacing a 980 SSB here at the bench. And I like to have this one here because, like I say, I can just grab this microphone when the UPS man or the FedEx man or the mailman or whatever I might need to walk outside. I can just clip this thing on my belt and go. So that's another big plus. Like I say, I wanted to mention, because I'm getting a lot of questions about size. I don't work for President, people. They just sent me the radio to do a review on. So I got to do the same thing you do. Go to their website to get the information. But Yeah, it's DIN sized. I did a little bit more research online, and like I say, President overseas they sell mounting brackets for all their radios, DIN in-dash mounting brackets. So yeah, President, if you watch this video, I know you've already watched the first video. You actually contacted me about that. If you watch this video, like I say, highly suggest you start getting those mounted, because I know President Corporation, in France, they're making those brackets, the DIN mounting kits. So yeah, that's highly suggested. That might be another sales point for you, that you have a radio that's DIN in-dash mountable. So there you go. There's just a few little additions to the President McKinley.